Another episode of Barely Out of Bounds. It's your boy Rico Daddy Slick here.
How did your crew not get out there? They're playing off!
On the green, we sway with a beer in hand every day. From the tee to the hole, we're just trying to keep control. We're barely out of bounds, drinking and golfing around. A toast to the fairway we raise, for the love of the game and the haze. For the love of the game and the haze.
I don't know if it's about a day class. I don't know.
Back.
What was that? What just happened?
I don't know. It was weird.
Did your computer turn off or something?
What?
Did your computer turn off or something?
No, the computer is active. I don't know what's going on there. Did the theme music play?
It played like all the way up until the end and then just cut out.
Oh. All right. Well, welcome back to Barely Out of Bounds, the Barely Golf podcast featuring myself and.
Well, we barely got it. You know, we barely got it in. Yep.
It was barely off.
It was barely off. We were barely there, you know?
Yeah. You'll get there one day, buddy. How are we doing tonight, Zane?
I'm doing all right. I'm just excited to be back in the seat, back in the saddle again, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to get back to talking about.
You haven't been horseback riding since the incident.
I have never been horseback riding.
Yeah, you must have blocked it out. That makes sense. But it was a pretty traumatic experience for everyone involved. But Zane lost some memory, and you really don't remember.
Dude, what are you talking about?
That's so crazy. Anyway, Zane, what are we drinking tonight?
We are drinking a beer from Calf Killer Brewing, and it is called Sergio's Old Evil Ale Ass. There it is.
I think it's Sergio's Old Evil Ass Ale.
Old Evil Ass Ale. That's what I meant to say.
I think I've only had that beer one time.
Their logo's right up there behind me. So there's that.
Is it? Oh, Calf Killer.
Calf Killer Brewing, where we kill calves every day.
We got a special guest tonight. We're featuring something made by Free State of Smith Brewing Company.
I hope it's still good.
It might be.
It might be. How old is it?
Pretty old. But it was sitting in the basement. I didn't even have to put it in the fridge.
Zach, it's not good, buddy. I think.
Oh, you know what? I know what this is.
What is it?
I think it's wine. No, it's a cider.
It's
Sweet.
a cider.
Oh,
Okay.
I got nervous. I accidentally picked the bottle of wine out.
Alrighty.
I did not want that at all.
Yeah, you don't want that at all.
I should have been more careful. I should have brought the trash can over here before I opened that thing.
You probably should have, but
You never know with these free state Smith. Sometimes it just sends you a bottle of C4 and just clicks on when you open it. Anyway, that would have been the end of the podcast, but I'm glad it didn't happen. I believe this is a cranberry apple cider. It's pretty good. I had it last week on the show with Kerry and Trev on Beer League Football. So we're going to have a good time tonight.
All right, nice. Is it the
wedding
cranberry
beer?
apple
Wedding
cider?
beer's gone. Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
Gotcha. Well, you finished that on our last podcast.
Yeah, wedding beer is gone. So no more wedding beer. I was pretty saucy after the last podcast. I'm not going to lie.
Were you?
Pounding 4 beers in an hour is...
You were just chugging it. Yeah, that is getting it. So, thank you guys so much for coming back for the podcast. We're making some changes. I'm revamping back here, kind of the scene and stuff, making it look real nice. And then obviously you guys saw we had a song. We have a new theme, and we have an intro. We have a good old intro, and that's also on the YouTube. You can check that out. Send it to friends, send it to buddies. Let them know that we're here, and let them know if they want to drink and talk golf with us. They're more than welcome to. So yeah, we always read the comments. We always read the comments on the show as they're coming in. So feel free to in the chat, drop something in the chat, comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and we will get to them. Absolutely, we'll get to them. So Zachary Smith. Zachary Smith. Let's
actually, that's not my name anymore.
What's your name? Owner
my name
and
is...
operator?
No. Well, I am that too.
Is that just because you? Is that because you owned and operated Trevor Kirkland?
Yeah, and I'm gonna rate you after tonight.
Hiding after Josh owned Lamar. Yeah, he is. He's hiding. He's not really on this podcast. He's on the Beer League Football. But that's all right. That's all right, KL. You can join us.
This is a different podcast, but you know what? Yes, he is hiding. And he was hiding from me for like 2 weeks to play Madden. He finally showed up tonight, and let's just say he's not going to the Super Bowl.
He got his ass beat. I was really hoping he'd win too, because I wanted.
Why? Because you didn't want to play me?
I didn't want to play you. Number one. Number two, I really wanted a rematch against Trevor. Trevor beat me early on in the season, pretty badly.
I'm undefeated against users in our league.
Oh, you're undefeated against users in our league.
I mean, it's just a fact.
Oh, that is so impressive. I'm so impressed.
Oh, thanks, man.
I just saw This Is Golf. Yep. No, you're good, dude. No problem. Nobody's gonna hold that against you.
Yeah, nobody would ever hold that against you. I'll bring it up to him though. I'll text him. Actually, I can do that right now.
Oh. Anyway, so let's talk real quick. Let's obviously cover the news of the week, the highlights of the week. So we had the American Express tournament. For those of you that watched, there was a lot going on with that tournament. It was actually kind of neat. The way they play that is a little bit different from other events. So they actually play all those Pete Dye courses in La Quinta. And so you're never really playing the same course twice, except on the final day. And their cut is after Saturday. So that was that probably threw some of you guys off if you guys had watched it, because they don't make the cut line the second day, because they're all playing different courses. They have to play all 3 courses before they make the cut. And so they've got a lot of golfers out there. This is bigger than your normal run-of-the-mill tournament. So that's the other cool thing about it. Sepp Straka ended up winning. So Straka is back in the winner's circle. This is something that we have said he was looking good going into this season. This is not really a surprise to us. A couple of my colleagues said that, they think they project him to, win a major this year. And he's certainly playing well enough to do that. So super excited about that. He also shaved his head. I don't know if you saw that. He shaved his head.
Oh, yeah.
And it was because he said that he started losing some hair and he'd rather shave it all off.
Hey, dude,
Yeah.
that's something, everybody has to accept at some point when you start balding, there's a point where it's like, okay, there's no point. Like,
Well, it just doesn't look good.
yeah, it looks worse trying to do a comb over
Oh,
than
100%.
Just shaving it bald.
100% it does. 100% it does. And yeah, and maybe it's his good luck charm. Maybe that was he's already playing good. He was already on
Took some weight off his shoulders, if you will.
Took the weight off his shoulders. It's funny. But yeah, no, so he's back in the winner's circle. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen with you. This is what it kind of looked like. Here it is. This is what it kind of looked like there at the Amex. He did win by 2. It wasn't just a playoff, which is pretty abnormal for a tournament of that size.
I'll figure this out eventually how to do this. There we go.
That's all right. So this was a video of him and his caddy after he made the final.
Sepp Straka is back in the winner's circle on the PGA Tour for the 3rd time in his career. He is the champion of the 2025 American Express.
So yeah, so that was him. What'd you say?
I said, way to go, Seppi.
Way to go, Seppi. So that was nice to see that. And here's that quote that I just wanted to share with you guys. It was I was kind of losing my hair, so I figured I would get out in front of it. Just go ahead and shave it off.
That's what you got to do. You got to make that decision.
That's what he did. There's also the trophy right there. It's a nice trophy. Really cool looking trophy there for the Amex. The thing I noticed is how...
Hey, do you have an Amex?
An Amex card? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No. Do you have an Amex?
No. I considered applying for one because I know the rewards on them are pretty good. You have to have a certain credit score to even get an offer.
Yeah, I know, but if you have one and you get the rewards, you got to use those rewards. You've got to use.
No, I'm aware.
Rewards.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So no, I don't have an Amex. I don't plan on getting one either. Especially not until like I'm flying places. Maybe later in life, whenever I'm flying places, doing stuff like that, big expenses that you could just pay off at the end of each month, maybe. But
yeah.
Nope, not doing that for a good bit. So that happened. We also had Blades Brown, Zach. Now Blades Brown is 17. This was the other kind of storyline of the event. Blades Brown played really, really well. Just for those of you who don't know who this is, there it is. On the field. So he's actually playing this week. It said he was in a 3-for-1 playoff. I'm going to look and see if he made it. I think they would do it if he played it. But this is him talking about his expectations going into the American Express. Do you mind sharing that screen, Jack?
Oops. There we go.
You're good. All right, so this is him explaining kind of like what his expectations are in the event. Here we go.
I'd say my expectations are just to have fun. And one expectation specifically is to beat my mental coach, Rob Bell, in ping pong this week sometime. So I'm looking forward to get after it.
You mentioned Nick Dunlap's victory last year as an amateur. Going back over the course of the last year and what factored into your decision to turn pro, did that factor in at all, the fact that he was able to pull that off?
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Dunlap, I know Nick Dunlap. I met him at Cherry Hills at the U.S. Amateur when he won. And, I mean, it's just so cool to be able to look at young talent such as Nick Dunlap. And, I mean, it's an inspiration for me. He gives me an opportunity to say, hey, what if I can do that? So I think it's so cool that Nick Dunlap was able to win as an amateur last year.
What were the factors that went into your decision to turn pro?
Well, my Sport 5 agency, awesome agency. I got tons of people around me that are supporting me, and I mean it's so cool to be able to call them family. But when they came to me and they said, hey, do you want to be a professional and play on the PGA Tour? I was like, are you kidding me? I get to be a professional and play on the PGA Tour? So as soon as I heard that, I was like, it was a done deal.
So the agency that he's talking about, that's the agency that represents a lot of those guys. I think they're based out of New York City.
Most
And
professional
so
sports agencies are based out of New York.
Oh, thanks, Zach, for that commentary. So no, that they're a one of those top agencies. They actually had a guy out there looking out at the talent at our tournament at that Georgia Tech event, and watching them and seeing if they would offer them deals as well. And so, I mean, is this a good thing, bad thing, Zach, to see more and more of these guys doing what Blades Brown is doing?
It kind of depends on the future of the PGA Tour. My worry for these guys is right now it looks like the PGA Tour is focused on retaining talent and retaining brands rather than growing brands and growing talent. So in terms of like a business model, the PGA Tour isn't like, obviously it's cool he got screen time and everything, but like I'm not sure that's the PGA Tour is that interested in investing in their young talent that they do have out there.
I would disagree with that. I mean, they showed him a lot during the event, and on top of that, they on the socials they blew it up for Blades Brown. They even did a lot of collaboration with like the USGA. They did a lot of collaboration with, I think, the AJGA on their Instagram pages. And so I don't necessarily agree with that. The other thing that you have to take into consideration is he's already got a deal with Callaway. So the dude's already on with one of the top, I would say, 4 or 5 manufacturers on tour. And I think, judging by his play, I mean, he did miss the cut, right? He did miss the cut on Saturday. But that was because of a really kind of tragic back nine on round 3. He did not play well coming down the stretch. If he had simply parred out the back 9, he's in. So that just goes to show you how bad it was. He shot 3 over, I think 3 or 4 over on the back 9 of round 3. This is the same kid that had 10 birdies. He had 10 birdies in round 2.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Just so you guys understand, that would have been crazy even over in Hawaii where the courses are easier for these guys. So 10 birdies in a round at La Quinta is really, really, really good. So I think it was the right decision for him. I don't think it's the right decision for everybody. And I think agents know that, though. And I think the agents know kind of who has, I don't want to say has what it takes, because a lot of them learn that skill. Like, it's a learned thing. So a lot of them learn that. But I will say that they made the right choice in his case. He's definitely going to, he's already, like I said, I just saw the news that he was in a 3-for-1 playoff. I didn't see that earlier. They've already started the Farmers Insurance Open, and we'll talk about that later. They started a day earlier than I thought they would, so we'll look into that a little bit later. But it's really impressive what he's done just to start out. That was his professional debut. He got the sponsors exemption for that event. It's going to be really cool to see what he can do.
I agree.
I mean, do you want to say anything about him? Did you get to watch him at all?
I didn't watch much of this tournament, so I didn't see much of him. But
come on, you're on a golf podcast.
I didn't watch the national championship either.
I didn't either. But you're not. I mean, this is not the football podcast. This is a golf podcast.
Well, I'm on 2 podcasts. I missed 2 sporting events.
That's big.
So I mean.
You also missed TGL, which I'll be the one to recap that and kind of show you how that went.
All right, yeah. Let's talk about it, man.
not right now.
Okay.
Hold your horses. So that was a great. I mean, it really was a great tournament. The only other thing that really kind of was the viral moment of the tournament. This is coming from the Shooter McGavin account on X. Was this? I mean, it's kind of ironic that it's the Shooter McGavin account. It was like something out of Happy Gilmore. So if you take a look at the screen here real quick, you can see William Mao had a 13 on hole 17, which was brutal.
Yeah.
So that, I think Friday. That was on Friday.
That hole gets
Just
like at least one person a year.
Oh, 100%. Well, it swallowed him up and spat him out. What? No, 8. We're not talking about making a 6, okay? We're not talking about making a 7. We're not even talking about making an 8. We're not even talking about making a 9. We're making a 13. A 13 out
That's
there on
tough,
tour.
man.
Let's go ahead and pick.
Oh, before
Go ahead and pick.
after we watch this video, I have a question for you, Zane.
Go ahead. There we go.
All right, Miles, second shot on the way.
Like he
Where
likes
goes,
it.
I think right,
Shouldn't
left.
have liked
Oh, no.
it.
Oh no!
Oh, that's-
Gonna see one more action in the bunker.
It's not fun.
Oh, that was way too clean. Easy to
Oh,
do.
man. How does he screw this up? I would have thought he took 2 or 3 out of the bunker there.
Well, this, I mean,
Oh,
that
my
is
goodness.
a bad decision
Yeah.
there, I
What
think.
is happening?
I would bounce it in the rough before I tried putting that thing
Yeah.
airborne. Especially in the
And
dorm.
there he goes. This is how it normally gets people, this hole. Where they can't get out of this bunker. They try and get too cute with it. Does he do it again?
What are you talking about? You didn't watch it.
No, I've seen this hole get a bunch of people in the past. Zane, get your tongue back in your mouth. Yep.
No.
This
Wow.
is how it happens.
And then
Oh my gosh! Sit
over
down.
the green again. I just don't get how that many bunker shots could be that poor.
It's a hard bunker shot, man.
That blows. I understand. I get it.
He did it again.
Settle.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's gotta sit.
Settle.
We've got 5 more of these to go, Zach.
Oh my goodness!
It doesn't stop once it gets there.
That's wild. By the way, you see how sharp that
Yeah.
edge is from green to fringe? Look at that. You can see it.
His 9th
That
shot.
bevel.
That's not even where the pin is. That is almost exactly where Norlander hold it from. Why did he go out that way?
What do you mean? Why did he go out
He's
that
hitting
way?
his
He didn't
9th
wanna go
shot.
over the
He's
green
just trying to
again.
get out of the
Oh
hole.
my gosh. Please hit it. No, don't do that. What are you doing?
He did.
Oh, my-
Mal, what are you doing?
this is a bad day.
Oh no. Well,
Oh my
Tough.
god.
So I have a question for you, Zane.
Tough.
Just after
Right.
watching that
I'm
video,
ready for it.
what's the highest number you've ever taken in a round that mattered?
That's a great
I know
question
mine.
for the podcast. In a round,
Like a
that
tournament
matters. So
round.
we're talking
like a tournament round. Yeah,
round.
highest number you've ever taken on
In
a
a
hole.
tournament round. I know I've taken a 9. I don't know if I've taken a 10. I know I've scored a 10. I don't know if I've scored a 10 in a tournament though. You know what I mean? Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Like there's making a 10 and then there's scoring a 10
Yeah.
in a tournament. I think 9 maybe.
Okay.
I think it was probably on a par 5. I think 9 might be the highest. Why? What's
I
yours?
made a 12 in a tournament.
Did you really? Was it recent?
No, it was years ago. So I was a junior
Oh.
golfer.
Oh, okay.
I hit. It's the
okay.
toughest hole on the course. You got like a 20-yard wide landing area. Day 1, I made par from like a bad spot. I made par.
Mhm.
I hit a okay tee shot, just took a bad bounce. It made a great second shot, 2-putted for par. Day 2, I hit the perfect drive. I mean, right in the middle of this 20-yard wide landing area. Chunked 1 in the water, 2 in the water, 3 in the water. Took a 7-iron, hit it 30 yards over the green. And then I think it took me, so what was that? 1, 2, 3 and 4 out, 5 and 6 out, 6 and 7 out, 8 long of the green, 9 I missed the green, 10 on, 11, 12. Yeah. Wow. I remember that. I wanted to leave.
I'm sure you did, buddy.
I wanted to leave. I was just like, this is stupid.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, that was the same way with my, I think a 9. I think it was just like, because you realize, I mean, at that point, you're like, it's over. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's definitely with a 13. I think that's kind of like exactly what you said on his shot where he's going back toward the front of the green. It's
well,
like,
he's hitting his 9th shot and he doesn't want to take a 20.
He's just trying to go home.
Yeah.
He's just trying to make it. He's just trying to make it where he cards.
So is that
number.
a 13 on a par 4?
Par 5.
Oh, is it par 5? So that's
yeah.
God, that's 8 over
Quintuple
par.
bogey.
So he goes back to 2 over for the tournament.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
He's playing well too.
Yep.
6 under at the time. That's unfortunate.
Yep. It is unfortunate for sure. It is unfortunate.
Some greens you don't have to go for. That's the lesson.
That's a fact. That's
Some greens you just don't have to go for.
Yep. So, this is the only Farmers Insurance Open. Let's go ahead and cover this. It's the only Wednesday to Saturday event on the PGA Tour. And, obviously they're at Torrey Pines this week. There's a initial field of 156 was announced on Friday, but since then there have been 11 withdrawals. So the tournament started with 155 players. So they had to let in some people to try and make it to where they're good. So they're playing both courses though at this event. This is kind of the same deal as the other event. Obviously, the other event they had 3. This one will have a 2-day cut. They're playing both the north and south courses, so players will flip-flop either day. If you played on north, you'll play on south second day. If you played on south, you play on north second day. And so, there's a lot of big names withdrew from this event. Obviously, they still got their fair share of names on there, but they did withdraw. And I just wanted to pull this up. So here it is. Am I here? Yeah. So, and they're big names and players that we're looking at very closely for a good season this year. So Akshay Bhatia withdrew from the Farmers Insurance Open after playing in the Hero Dubai Desert Classic last week.
It was probably just a tough turnaround.
Probably. I mean, it is a big flight. I mean, you're talking from going to Dubai to the West Coast.
Yeah. And you're starting a day early, so there's just one less day to rest and recover.
And honestly, I think that might have been just bad planning on his part.
Probably.
Obviously, Sunday, and then you got to fly out. You got to be there for practice round on Tuesday.
Because you probably spend the night Sunday,
sure,
and then leave Monday. So you get there,
sure,
late Monday, early Tuesday, and then have to go out and play a practice round. Or if there's 2 courses, 2 practice. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for him to play.
Correct. And there's also a lot of other guys that withdrew too. One of the Hogard brothers, Nikolai Hogard, he's out. Colin Morikawa is out. By the way, with Colin Morikawa withdrew, Wesley Bryan got into the tournament. So Wesley Bryan's playing this week. You had Tyler McCumber out. Mackenzie Hughes, another big name, is out. Akshay, obviously, and then Chesson Hadley.
Okay.
Chesson Hadley withdrew as well. So a lot of big names withdrew. Whenever I heard that, I thought it was going to be a little bit more because when you have 11 guys withdraw from something, you start thinking maybe it's like a protest. You know what I mean? So that was where my mind went to start out. and it went toward like the fires and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And the insurance withdrawing policies. So I thought it was one of those things, but apparently a lot of it just had to do with injuries. A lot of people wanted injuries, turnarounds, and stuff like that. So a lot of it, I don't think any of it was political.
Aberg currently leading by 2 shots.
Yeah, no, he had a great day. Did you see what he shot?
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude had with a 7-wood in the bag. He's rocking a 7-wood.
I've heard some guys going to
Nice,
like
thank
the 5-wood or the 7-wood over like a hybrid or a long iron.
Oh, that's what a lot of people are doing. That's why the UW, Callaway's UW is so popular. The utility wood is so popular because it's not a hybrid, and it's not like as big as a normal wood. So it's a very popular option for better players.
Yeah.
I thought about going to it whenever I was with Callaway, but it's just one of those things where, you know, now I'm not with them. So
Wesley Bryan only 3 shots out of second at 4 under.
Yep,
that's cool.
Yeah, and he just got in, so it's like that's even cooler that he just got in. And
He has been. I don't know if there's any way to measure this, but since he started doing YouTube golf heavily, he's become a better player. I don't know how or why that works, but he's become a better player since starting YouTube golf.
Hey, you stop it. You stop it.
Okay, fine. I'll stop talking about Wesley Bryan and how handsome he is.
Not you. Not you.
Oh, yeah, he's not handsome. I was just joking.
I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat doggies. I'm going to beat a dog.
All right.
No. So when did he start doing it heavily?
I'm not sure, but it feels like 2, maybe 3 years ago. Like, because George has been doing it for a long time, but
here I just sent you this. This. So can you share that? So if we're talking heavily, he's actually low. Well, he's back up from a trough there around 2023. I mean, he reached his lowest of the lows. He reached his lowest of the lows around the Valspar of 2023. Then he's been climbing up ever since. But yeah, if we're talking 3 years ago, I mean, that was when he was peaking as well.
I mean, he won like last year. That's why I say that.
I get that, but data golf suggests that, you know, he actually went down until the Valspar 2023 and then shot all the way back up.
Okay.
Hey, you stop it. I'm going to have to beat a dog. I'm going to have to turn into Michael
all right,
Vick.
dude. I need you to calm down with the Michael Vick talk.
What do you mean? Calm down. What do you mean calm down? I'm calm. This is me calm.
I know it is. I need you to calm even more down.
So anyway.
I think it's cool anytime like Wesley or George is in contention.
Yeah,
I think I like Wesley more, but
you like Wesley
than
Bryan
George,
more?
yeah. Did you see his match with Phil Mickelson?
Wesley Bryan?
Oh my god, it was so fun to watch.
Oh, was that the one where he played with Grant Horvath
No, it
as
was
well,
just
or
them
no different
two.
one?
It was 1-on-1.
Oh, really? Did he win?
No, Phil won. He
Phil
eagled
won?
the last hole, making like a
to win.
Yeah.
He eagled
so
the last
it's
hole
funny.
to win?
So Phil has a custom pair of shoes. I forget from who, but it has the number of wins he's got and the number of majors he's got on the other. And so
I've seen it.
So he contacted Wesley's like apparel people that he does his apparel with. I can't remember who it is, but and he ordered him a custom pair of shoes, and it said, "I want the number 1 on one shoe and then nothing on the other." And he gave them to him at the beginning of the round. He's like, I just want it because I have these. I want you to have like the same thing I do. Like, obviously, we don't have the same shoe guys, but so I got you a pair of shoes with the number of wins you have on them and the number of majors. It's got a 1 on it.
That's pretty great. That's like the biggest slap in the face ever. By the way, that was wild. There was a reel I saw where it was a country singer. It wasn't Luke Bryan. Was it Zach Bryan? No, Jake Owen, right? And I think that's who it is. Anyway, they were at I think it was JT's or somebody's wedding, and he walks up to Phil, and this was when all the Liv stuff was going on or whatever. Mm-hmm. And this is whenever he had the match. He played the match with Tiger, this first one. You remember that exhibition? Played the first exhibition match. And he walks up to him, and he's drunk. He's drunk, and he walks straight up to Phil, and Phil's in the middle of a conversation with somebody else. He said, "Hey, Phil, I want my $29.99 back." And Phil's like, like, what? What are you talking? He's like, I want my $29.99 back. That was shit. That was like, he's going off on him. And he's joking. Yeah. He's totally not serious, but he seems serious. Yeah. He's acting. Phil reaches into his back pocket, pulls out a wad of 100s, takes one out, chucks it at him, and he says, "Now go." That's great, dude. I heard that story the other day. And then to make it matter, like to make this so much better, he was asked in a press conference right after this podcast aired. He was asked in a press conference. He said, "Hey, did this happen? He says, "Oh, it happened exactly the way it happened." The way he said.
Oh yeah, it happened exactly. Yeah.
Phil was like total dead serious too. He's like, "Yeah, it happened exactly the way he said." That's pretty funny. Anyway,
Phil's a character, man. So in that same match with Leslie Bryan, after so they're on the tee box of 18 and it's tied or whatever, and Phil goes, "Yeah, you know what's gonna happen here, Wesley, is I'm gonna eagle my second hole of the day and I'm gonna win the match, and that's just what's gonna happen here." And Wesley goes, "You're not eagling 2 holes today." And he goes, I'm letting you know just before it happens that's what's going to happen. And sure enough, he traded like a 30-footer for eagle. And Wesley's got us like a 7-footer for birdie.
Oh my God.
Because you know how he
insane.
Talks down to people when he's playing golf?
It's
like the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, here's what's going to happen, Wesley.
He's the biggest. He might be one of the biggest shit talkers in the game.
He's so good at it. Here's what's gonna happen, Wesley. I'm gonna eagle my.
I've heard Kuchar is a.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing about Kuch.
I've heard Kuchar's a shit talker. I hope one day he comes over, because obviously he can play out here at golf club. I hope one day he comes over and I get to meet him just to see what he's like, because I know people that know him really well. Like he stays at their house sometimes. Not gonna say who, obviously, but I'd love to meet him and see if see what kind of guy he is.
Theoretically, Snoop Dogg has a membership at the Georgia Club.
Does he really? What do you mean
theoretically? He's building a house in the area, and we're basically giving him a membership, I guess. So that's cool.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, he does golf.
He does golf.
So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this. This is brand new news.
Breaking news, even?
Brand new news, not breaking news. We can't break news. Are you kidding me? We run a podcast. We just tell everybody
break news. If something happened right now on golf Twitter, I would know about it.
Oh, you would know about it. Zach would know about it. Brooks Koepka has once again ended his partnership with Coach Claude Harmon III, marking the second time in 4 years that the duo has parted ways. While the reasoning behind the split remains unclear, the move signals a shift in Koepka's career as the 34-year-old golfer looks to work with new coaches Pete Cowan and Jeff Pierce. By the way, if true, Koepka's going to win a major this year. Just letting you know, Pete Cowan may be the best to ever do it. I know
That's a
people will
bold
throw out
statement,
names like
Zane. If he works
I
with
know
Cowan,
people will throw out names. I know people. I know this. I know people will throw out names like Butch Harmon and like I don't know Sean
that's the
Foley.
guy
I know people
I
will
was
throw out
thinking
those
of.
names.
Not as the
Like
best guy, but as a name
this
someone
guy,
would throw out.
Pete Cowan is the guy. If you've ever listened to him, he's got a podcast. No, he doesn't have a podcast. He's been on several, but he was on the Altus Performance podcast, which they no longer do, which is sad because that was a really good podcast for coaches to get information from Cameron McCormick because Cameron McCormick is a good coach. And he's very knowledgeable. But he was talking with Pete Cowan. He had Pete Cowan on the program on the Altus Performance Earn Your Edge podcast, and just listening to him, like this is a man who literally doesn't look for players. There's no marketing involved with Pete Cowan. This is a man who everybody who takes from him takes from like he only has a set amount of people, which everybody does. Everybody does this. I'll tell you what they don't do is he has a contract that they sign.
Yes, you were telling me
right?
about this a while ago. Yeah.
Yes, he has a contract that they sign that if they decide to leave, they can never come back. And he doesn't allow anybody in. Like say for instance, obviously he'd have to make an exception for like Tiger and all that, but say for instance you had Mackenzie Hughes. I don't know if he takes with Pete Cowan. He might very well could be a taker with Pete Cowan. But say he has Mackenzie Hughes. Say he has got a full stable of players though, right? Pete Cowan's not going to let Mackenzie Hughes on a stable. Like he's not going to let him just come up and learn. A lot of coaches will do that. Like they'll let them come so that they can see kind of what they got to work with. Like Gary Gilchrist did that with some guys. And that's normal. That's normal run-of-the-mill stuff. There's nothing bad about that. That is the profession. But this man is so good at what he does at his craft that he has to turn down people. Like he will turn you down. He makes very few exceptions unless somebody leaves his stable. He'll only bring on one other guy. I mean, this is a guy who has so many major championships underneath his belt. I'd love to get the actual number. I did know the actual number. I don't know right now, but crazy amounts of crazy amount of championship wins underneath him. So major championship wins. So I'm just putting it out there right now in the ether. If true, if he's taking with Pete Cowan, he will win a major championship this season.
Not next season, this season?
This season.
Okay.
Because I will say,
a bold prediction for sure.
Here's the problem. So, I mean, what is your opinion on Claude Harmon? Do you have an opinion?
I think he's pretty good. Obviously. I don't know. I don't have any major opinions on him.
For the sake of my career, I will not say my actual thoughts. I think Claude has gotten very far because Daddy's name is Butch. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. He might be a better coach than I am. I mean, one can only assume with that many quality, talented players playing underneath you. I do think it's kind of odd how Ricky Fowler was playing like shit, and then he left Claude to go back to Butch, and then went back to Claude Harmon and started winning. I think what happens is he'll take a player and he'll literally go to his dad and say, "Hey, what do you see with this?" And his dad will say, "Do this, this, and this. Don't screw him up again." And then he goes back to Claude. And again, I don't know if any of that's true. It is kind of weird how players with Claude will leave, go see other people, and then go back to Claude.
I mean,
I just don't. I don't know if. Here's the thing. I don't know if Claude Harmon is a genius. Like I don't know if he's brilliant. I think he might be really good for like one's ego. Like really good at like saying the stuff that
people
like
want to
makes a
hear.
player feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, say the stuff that or makes them feel
Yeah.
good, which is not a bad quality. You want to make sure your players have an ego. You want to make sure your players feel good about their golf game going into a tournament. But I think with Claude, I think it is mainly that, and that's not really what golf coaches do. That's a secondary thing of what we do. But the main thing is we fix our players, or we help our players fix themselves. I don't know if he has. I don't know how much of that primary skill he actually has. That's my point. Again, not bash. I'm not gonna bash the guy because I fear for my.
I don't know.
career.
I don't know if he's
But-
skilled or not. That's my thing. But I'm not bashing him. I don't know if he's good at his job.
I don't. This is not me saying he is trash. I'm not saying that. I don't have that opinion.
Okay.
I don't have that opinion. I will not call him Fraud Harmon. I will not do it.
Sounds like you did there.
I won't do it. No, I just said I wouldn't, Zach. I just said I wouldn't do it. Okay?
Yeah, but you said it in a way that made it sound facetious.
No, I am not being facetious. That is not his name. His name is Claude Harmon III. Get it right, everybody.
Not Fraud Harmon the Turd. I will repeat, it's not Fraud Harmon the Turd. It's Claude Harmon the Third.
No, and he's not a turd. He's actually also been on the Earn Your Edge podcast, and he said some things that were good. I'm not.
I'm with you, man.
Again,
me and you. Listen, me and you.
We
me
got
and
it.
you. Me and
tight.
you. Same page. It's right here. Same page.
We're on that same page.
Claude Harmon the Third, not Fraud Harmon the Turd.
Hey, you added that last part on.
I was ad-libbing off of something you said. Again, I don't have any strong opinions on the guy.
I do think Sean Foley, and I've never been high on Sean Foley. I do think Sean Foley is better.
He's a name that people throw out there as like the best coach.
Well, he does that secondary thing real well, like I said, like making you feel good, but he also knows his stuff. And I can tell that whenever I listen to him. I can tell that whenever I hear what he has to say. Now, there may be some things and I can't name them off the top of my head, but there may be some things I find a little bit questionable, but for the most part, he's pretty sound. And I will say this, I've never heard Claude Harmon say anything that I disagree with.
There you go.
Never.
So, listen.
Never.
Me, you, and Claude. Listen.
So maybe.
Same page.
Yeah. Same page.
Me,
you, and Claude Harmon.
Bookmark it. Hold on.
Bookmark that page. That way we can stay on.
Where is it? There it is. Bookmark.
Yeah. So.
Boom. Same page.
Yeah. He bookmarked it. That's right. Same page. Me, you, and Claude. Like 3 peas in a pod. So I'm very excited for Brooks. I think that is going to lead to a major championship win. Zach, what do you think about it?
I don't know about leading to a major championship win. That's a bold take. I think he'll have a better year than he did last year.
I'm a bold guy.
You are for sure, man.
I'm a bold man.
I think that'll lead to a better year than it did last year. I still see him playing third or fourth fiddle on Live.
I don't mean anything.
No, I know, but I don't see him rising to the top of Live this year.
I don't mean that. Don't mean anything. Like Live doesn't matter. Obviously, you want to win so you make more money. I'm just saying, whenever I'm saying major championships, I mean major.
No,
championships.
I know. I'm just talking about I don't winning a major. You're playing. You theoretically are playing the best golf in the world on a weekend.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't see it happening this year. Big as a Brooks guy as I am,
Yeah, I can't believe you're not on this train. I can't believe you're not on this Brooksy train.
Well, Brooksy is
It's
not
kind of sad,
Brooks.
actually.
Brooksy and Brooks are two different people. So
Yeah, they are. But I can't believe you're not on the Brooksy train with me.
I
Pretty
think
sad.
Brooksy wins the championship next year.
Do you actually? Next year? 2026?
No, this year, this season.
Or this year?
This
Okay.
coming major season.
Yeah, I would say. Well, I don't know. I mean, he didn't look good in that in the match at all.
Hey man, he's making
all.
changes, dude.
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
believe in Brooksy.
You believe
Plus,
in
he's
Brooksy.
really won
That's
me
good,
over,
man.
and I'm his biggest fan.
Yeah, are you
I'm
his biggest fan?
I'm gonna buy the
Are
LA
you
golf
his biggest-
driver.
All right, so now we're going to go into a little bit of the PGA Tour news that just got announced. So they did have the announcement of the new Player Advisory Council. So these are the players on the PGA Tour that will be on the board advising kind of Jay Monahan and the Tour Policy Board. They'll kind of be consulting them on the issues affecting the tour. I'm going to go ahead and share that tab with you. So I'm going to go ahead and down the list of names. We'll talk about, what that looks like and what we think about these players. This is so it starts with Sam Burns, Eric Cole, Trevor Cohn, Ricky Fowler, Brian Harmon, Charlie Hoffman, Max Homan. You don't have to say after each one I say. Please don't. Max McGreevy, Kevin Kisner, Maverick McNeely, Keith Mitchell, Seamus Power, Scotty Scheffler, Brant Snedeker, Justin Thomas, and Gary Woodland. I know when I hit that Maverick McNeely, it took everything out of you to not go, oh my God, there he is.
I'm just more low key of a guy than you, because the only thing I was gonna say is oh, that's a good pick.
That's not what you were gonna say. You were gonna go.
I literally have never done that.
You were gonna fangirl.
No,
I know exactly
I would
what
never
you were gonna do.
Let's know it's over
okay.
Henry Cavill, but that's another conversation for another time.
You do fangirl over Henry Cavill. Like a lot, and it's pretty scary actually. So
I'm prepared to make that sacrifice.
Quick, so let's talk about this. I mean, do you like these picks?
I like some of them.
Do you think? Okay, can you tell me kind of the ones that you like?
I like Sam Burns on there. I like Max Homa on there.
Okay.
Maverick McNeely, Keith Mitchell.
I like Keith Mitchell. Cashmere Keith on there is a good pick.
And those are the ones I really like.
Because Keith Mitchell is kind of one of those guys.
A couple of names I don't know too well. So Max McGreevy, I'm sorry.
But I think that's a good thing.
No, I agree. I agree that that's a good thing. But I don't know what they're like.
You know what I love about it? Do you notice the names that aren't on there?
I know you're thinking of Rory McIlroy for one.
No, well, that one for sure, but Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah.
Wyndham Clark. Yeah, so I'm very pleased with that actually. And this looks like a very solid core group of guys. And I think that these names will at least make the decisions that are beneficial for the whole of the tour.
I'm not in love with Brian Harmon or Charlie Hoffman. Or Kevin Kisner.
I'm in love with the Brian Harmon pick. I do. I think he's a good guy, and I hope that he would make the right decisions for the players. Kevin Kisner, I am too. I'm pretty big on Kevin.
No, I
Kisner.
said I'm not big on Kevin Kisner.
I am big on Kevin Kisner. That's why I was saying that. I heard you. I heard you right. You don't have to repeat yourself. It's all cool.
Why?
It's all cool. Why am I big on Kevin Kisner? Well, because he used to be, back in the day, he used to be that guy that was always slugging it out week after week after week after week after week. I think this is a great role for him as kind of the older guy on the group that kind of can steer things in the direction that helps the players underneath. I don't think he's going to be super at least listen from, obviously we've got to hear several press conferences from him. I don't know him personally, but we've gotten to see a lot of Kevin Kisner, and a lot of what he talks about is like no nonsense.
But like, I just think I know he comes off as that guy, but like, I think he's got too many cookies in the cookie jar. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean too many cookies?
Well, like now he's a broadcast host. He's obviously still a PGA Tour player. He's on TGL. Like, there's all these different things. Does that make sense?
But he's not going to be helped out by the fact that you have these elevated events and you're not going to let people.
Well, he's on
come
TGL. He's already
underneath.
in elevated events.
No. TGL is not elevated events, Zach. You're talking about two separate things.
Zane, I understand that they're different.
And he knows he doesn't need to be there. He made the joke. He made the joke that, like, hey, Charlie, you want to sub in for me? Because he knows he's not meant to be there. He knows it. He was joking the entire time about the fact that he doesn't belong there.
But he is there.
That I know that, but you're not going to say no to money. This is different. This is not him getting paid. This is him just on a board to try and be a benefit to players on the tour. I think it's more likely that Justin Thomas takes the tact of like the greedy guy at the top.
I would agree with that.
A guy like Kevin
I would
Kisner.
agree with that if Justin Thomas was less openly hostile to that scumbag reporter.
What are you talking about?
Who's that reporter? Alan Shipnuck. That's who it is. Like, if Justin Thomas was less openly hostile to Alan Shipnuck, then I would agree. But
Alan Shipnuck is a snake. Why? Was Kevin Kisner nice to Alan Shipnuck?
No, I'm just saying Justin Thomas is openly hostile to Shipnuck.
Okay. And
it was about something having to do with PGA versus Live is what made him openly hostile.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, I think Kevin Kisner's a good pick. I think that it's good that you got Cantlay out of there, you got Cantlay out there, and you got Wyndham Clark out of there. Those were two really guys. Those were guys that needed to go. They were guys that literally, even all the rumors were saying that they were part of the hindrance of Liv and them getting back together and them making a deal with Liv. They're out of the room now. Now is the time to push this thing through.
Zane, I have a question for you. If they push this thing through, but Jay Monahan becomes the CEO of Liv,
it's going to happen. I've given up hope on them making the right decision on that front. Where were we going with that? Obviously, they're going to make him the CEO of Liv. They've made him the CEO of PGA Tour Enterprise.
No, I'm saying if the change happens and he's the CEO of Liv, the CEO of PGA Tour Enterprises, still the commissioner of the PGA Tour, do you think that that's actually worse for golf than them not getting back together?
No, that's still better for golf.
Okay.
Even with him at the top. He's stupid, but at least that would be better for golf. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do think, though, there is something that needs to be said on this front. I think the players ought to, right now, take a stand, okay, against Jay Monahan and say, hey, look, and I don't know if they're even man enough to bring this up. Mm-hmm. But if you're listening to this, which you're not, you should be man enough to bring this up. What can they do to you? They literally can't kick you out for saying what I'm about to say. What you say is, all right, Jay, we're sitting all in this room. We're sitting all in this room. Bless you. And I might ask Branson to ask Keith to say something. That would be kind of cool. I'm going to ask Branson. He knows Keith. We'll see what happens. What they need to say is they need to just go there and someone needs to be the man in the room and say, hey, look, Jay, we've really got to get this thing sorted out. You have your hand in too many baskets, okay? There's no accountability at the top. We want there to be accountability. You need to choose one. You can either be the commissioner, you can be the CEO of PGA Tour Enterprises, or you can be the CEO of this new Live thing. You have to pick one. These things will all work together. but you have to pick which one you're going to be in bed with and stick to it. You can't be all of them.
That's
You know what I mean? Because it is literally too much power for one human being.
100%. That's why I don't know if it would be better for golf. Honestly.
I know that the live broadcast product is superior. I know everybody has their gripes about the format of play. That's fine. You can have your gripes about the format of play. The product, the broadcast, is superior to that of the PGA Tour. I just spent the past week watching the American Express, and they did it again. I don't see Jason Day. How do I not see Jason Day? He's in the top 10. I don't see a shot of him. He's on the course. It's not even like you have the – so there's that whole thing of like, oh, they have 3 courses. They don't have everybody watching on all 3 courses. He was on the course they were watching, and they failed to show him but 1 bunker shot. That is – and I'm sitting here watching Sung Jae Im putt in for 6 over par. What the is going on? That's not how you broadcast. Yeah. It's just not even football fans know this, right? Football fans know this. You don't put the Browns against the Carolina Panthers on Monday primetime. You just don't. Yeah. Draw the eyeballs. You draw the eyeballs with good play. If Tiger Woods is playing, that's fine. If you want to show someone make a 13, that's interesting. That's fine. Do the things that draw the eyeballs. Don't show me Sung Jae Im at T133. Sorry, I've got my rant over now. I've got that out of my system. But I'm serious. That the broadcast of Live is superior. And that's because I'm just watching golf shots. Just show me golf shots. That's all we want to watch. We don't want to listen to, again, and I know everybody's going to have, little snippets of like why the tournament's important or like somebody giving charity to somebody, and that's great. Fine. We have that. But I want to see golf shots. I'm there to watch it. It's the same thing with football. You don't cut away from the play to talk to little Sally over there who's raising for end racism with the NFL. You just don't do it. You show the play.
Because
if they're on the field playing, you show the play. You were saying? Sorry.
I don't remember anymore.
You said, oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I ruined it for you.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway, so I'm just a little, I did want to share that this week about the American Express and the coverage. It was pretty bad. Yeah. I will say, though, now let's go into this, and this is one of our final segments, which we're coming up on an hour, which is good, is the TGL. So your boy actually watched this one live.
Nice.
Did you end up going back and watching the others, by the way?
Yeah. I watched the first one again.
Yeah. The first one? You went back and watched the first one? That was with New York as well, right?
They're 0-2.
So,
they suck.
Yeah, New York played Atlanta Drive this past time. This was New York's second match. They lost again. So New York played Atlanta. I will say they are getting it's not terrible. It's actually pretty cool. Kind of what we talked about the past week, last week. It is pretty cool. I will say some teams are definitely are better at this TV thing than others. Atlanta Drive was pretty damn good. And I'll tell you exactly why. You had Justin Thomas, who played kind of like the cool kid, like the badass or whatever, and kind of like chirping at the other team. You had Patrick Cantlay, like stone face, the stone face guy, not talking very much, just going and getting the job done. And then you had I forgot his name.
Horschel?
He did the dirty Horschel, Billy Horschel, doing like the dirty bird, being a real goofball, kind of being the funny man. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm here for that. That was actually pretty decent TV. in my opinion. I thought it was funny at the end how the Billy Horschel was doing the dirty bird and the other guys were like, get away from me. That's embarrassing. Like, I thought that was kind of funny. And I did like this better than previous weeks. It was also a lot closer than the other matches have been. The other matches were over, easily into singles. This at least got into like the fourth hole of singles, I think. And so that it was a better in that regard. But I also think it definitely depends on which team you're watching, as far as like which one's
I have a
more
question for you.
entertaining. Hit me with it.
I don't know. This is a legend. I'm going to be very clear. This is a legend. So obviously, hold on. Obviously, in sports, sports betting is pretty prominent. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And obviously something that TGL wants to get involved with because it brings eyeballs. It does a lot of stuff, right?
Sure. You're talking about you think they?
I'm not saying they fixed it. First off, I want to be very clear. I think Horschel was joking with his comments about how the producer told him to keep it close, and that's exactly what.
I think he was joking.
But, and I had this conversation with a friend the other day because I said I don't think I would touch this product with a 10-foot pole when it comes to sports betting.
Why not?
The simulator is subpar. It's not even the best on the market.
Which is, by the way, so go ahead, Tom.
The simulator is subpar. It's not the best on the market. It's not as accurate as like half the other products out there. It is owned and operated by individuals who are playing in the events. That's a big red flag. It's gotta be. And then also, what?
Keep talking, dude.
And also, looking at it, like you said last week, some of the teams don't seem to really care that much about winning.
Sure.
And it's not a like, because let's be clear, it's not the same as like a team tanking for like a first round pick, because it doesn't exist in TGL. It
should.
Probably should, but doesn't exist in TGL. And if they did do that, the sport's not entertaining enough for that to allow for it, if that makes sense. Sure. So when I look at the prospect of sports betting in this competition, I see only red flags.
True. But here, can I say something about that? I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's very likely at all that there's cheating involved or fixing involved in this sport, in this thing. I don't think that the thing that you said even holds any merit about like, oh, the people putting it on are
whether or not that they're,
because they're not actually putting it on. I mean, they're not producing it. They're just the players.
Yes, but they own the TGL.
No, they own their teams. They don't own.
I believe the TGL was founded by Tiger and Rory, who are on teams.
Yes,
in
it
the
was.
TGL.
Yeah. Okay. But what I'm telling you is, Full Swing Golf, I don't think they even have the capability in between shots to be able to be like, oh, like, let's let the ball go way further.
That's not the issue for me.
Okay, but I'm just saying, well, if those things aren't the issue for you, then the sports betting, the hesitation on sports betting doesn't mean a damn thing. Once we get to the point where players are a little bit more comfortable in these simulated environments, it's going to be a lot easier to do something like this. I think that's your biggest gripe That's got to be the biggest gripe, is just players aren't comfortable with it. It was very evident with Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick does not like this software. You can see it on his face after each time he hits it. He's like, I didn't do that. You know what I mean? He's like making that face like that.
Yeah.
I didn't hit that.
I had a
that bad
fade
or
and
whatever.
it drew.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like you saw that a lot with that team. You saw that a lot, especially with Fitzpatrick. He was downright angry sometimes with the result he was getting up on the screen. So, yeah. So I don't think that it would be possible to do that within 30 seconds.
I'm not
I don't
saying
think
that
it
it's
would be possible.
I'm saying that the product of Full Swing is inferior to other products on the market. It is less accurate, and therefore it is going to sway the results of matches.
Okay, but that doesn't take away from the fact that people are going to bet on anything. Why not TGL? Like, just because you don't feel comfortable betting on it doesn't mean that they shouldn't.
I'm saying as a
be
company, I would not feel comfortable even offering lines for TGL.
I just so disagree with you. 100% disagree with you. 100%. This is one of those things that you definitely want sports betting on. Like,
I think it's something that
even
the TGL
like MGM,
wants sports betting on. I think it's something.
No. MGM, all these guys are going to get in on.
They might. I think they're going to get rung
100%.
up, and then they're going to stop.
100%. They're not going to get rung up. They're not going to.
I think they're going to get rung up.
No. Nope. Not after a while, dude. Because once they get it figured out, obviously these things go through R&D. Happens every day. And I bet you with Full Swing, the way this is going to work is they're paying them a butt ton of money to get it better and better and better and better week after week after week. You hear that, right? Yeah.
Going crazy back there.
That's my dog, by the way. Dude, he's just
a little bundle of energy, man.
He is, man. Let me tell you what. He is. Love him to death. Shadow. Stop. He's going to start doing it again here in 5 seconds. There it is.
Damn near on cue.
Anyway, damn near on cue, indeed. So yeah, I just don't think it's one of those things that I think that's not going to hurt. That's not going to hurt them from getting it in, getting the sports betting in. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll get it. I think they'll get it within the year. I think they'll get it within.
And they might. So here's the thing, though, and I want to be very clear about this. Because this has happened, God, I'm doing it back-to-back weeks, aren't I? Disc golf had sports betting there for a little bit. And you know what? Because the stat keeping wasn't great, the lines weren't great, what ended up happening is the betting companies got taken for a lot of money. And they're like, okay, we need to shut this down and rethink how we're doing lines and do all this stuff. And they still don't have sports betting back at disc golf. They still don't.
That's not that. I mean, again, having been somebody who's played disc golf, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, it just doesn't. Disc golf, to me, just looking at it, there's so many things that go. It's not like other sports in which the odds and probabilities are super predictable. For obviously at the high end, that's not true. Like, you always know there's going to be within 3 or 4
there's going to be 5 or 6 guys that have a chance every weekend.
Correct, but down the ticket, that's just not. It's just not the case with disc golf. He's going at it, son. He's going at it.
Squeaker, man.
That squeaker doesn't stand a chance, dog. But I just think it's one of those things that, and Zach knows this too.
Here's the thing: there are clearly better players than. There are good players and there are bad players. There's 5 or 6 guys every week that have a chance to make it. But in golf, it's the same way. This is crazy. Anyway,
this is gold. By the way,
gold.
This is gold. This is gold.
But in golf, it's like the same way. If like I'm picking a major champion winner, I'm picking from like one of 5 guys, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same way in disc golf. If like I'm picking a big tournament, it's gonna be one of 5 guys. Every once in a while, a Zach Johnson will appear out of nowhere and win the Masters. But more often than not, it's gonna be. Well, I was gonna put Rory in that conversation, but you could go ahead and write him off. He's not winning a major. He's proven that.
He'll win a major.
He'll win a major. Proven that time and time again.
He's just never gonna win a Masters.
He's never gonna win a major again.
He's never gonna win a Masters. He's never gonna win a major again. He'll win a major.
Zayna, I don't think so.
He was playing good. He's been playing really.
He always
good.
is.
So yeah,
and he just can't get it done in the majors.
He's won majors, dude.
Since 20. Oh, I think his last major was like 2016. Zane, I was in high school.
Dude, this guy, I'm about to hit him. Oh, shoot, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, he's never going to win a major again.
I told you.
Hold on just a moment. I can't. I'm going to beat you. Where are you?
Don't beat him. He's just having fun. Just put him in his room.
Yeah, right there.
Or hold him in your hands or something. Give him something to do.
No, we're good. We're all set.
360. Beep beep.
He might jump up on that up on his crate and get. Oh my God! He's trying to get up on the crate. Get it. Look at him.
I can't see him.
Oh my God! I mean, you can't see him.
Wait, if I go wide shot, can I see him?
No, you can see him right there. Look at him. He's like, can I get up on it? Look at him.
He's trying.
He's trying, dude.
You don't let him sleep in the bed with you?
Of course I do sometimes.
Oh, like I was gonna say, what's wrong with you, man?
I want to crate train him a little bit, get him comfortable with it. So, anyway. All right, well, that's about all we got for the podcast tonight. If you guys could like, comment, subscribe. We love to get all your suggestions on what we should talk about week after week. If you've got stuff that you want to talk about, please hit us in the chat.
Don't hit us
below.
But you can message us in the chat.
I like it when you hit me.
All right. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Barely Out of Bounds. We'll see you